Hello everyone, I'm Delia, Head of Customer Success at Brightspaces. Brightspaces is a tech company for real estate, helping developers boost their marketing and leasing activities through 3D digital twins. I'm so happy to have with me today Ashton Topolinski, business partner, minority owner, and head of marketing at InteRo Property Development, our first residential customer. Ashton, thank you so much for accepting my invitation to talk about our partnership and 3D digital twins. Can you tell us more about yourself?
Sure. Well, thank you very much for having me here today. So about myself personally, I moved back here around 2.5 years ago, and I was really embraced with the challenge of building the marketing department from ground up. We had essentially no marketing before I moved here, and even though I didn't have any management experience previous, I took on the challenge, and I built up the marketing department from nothing to something that's becoming very successful and working with partners such as yourself.
And you're actually doing a great job on marketing, so congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Let's talk a bit about InteRo. Where is the company now, and what are your plans for the next 5 years?
Well, there's so much to talk about in terms of the company, but in terms of the project side, we have developed 2 different projects that are residential. One that's called New Comfort City in Budapest, another one that's called North Light in Stefanese Jos. We also are looking to expand to Pajura area for Pajura Today residents, which is our up-and-coming first luxury project. We also are going to be expanding to Tunari. That's going to be called Sunlight Residence. So that's in terms of the project side, but also in terms of the company growth, with us being a fairly new company in terms of development. We have so much more, optimism in the climate, even though the climate of building is quite difficult, and I'm sure many developers out there can agree with me, that's a very challenging time. Because we are very persistent and hardworking of a company, we are once again looking forward to the challenge, and we will continue to build even when there's odds against us. So I think it just shows that the values of our company and the fact that we will prevail no matter what happens in the market.
How have things changed in marketing and sales from the residential perspective post-pandemic?
So I think post-pandemic, obviously the lifestyle has changed for people. We did see that people were inside more, so we shifted traditional marketing to more online marketing. So that budgeting increased during COVID. Now, after COVID, we've been quite fortunate because sales have not been extremely increased or decreased because of the market, but rather they've remained quite steady. So for us, the marketing is more about how do we showcase our project in a way that's innovative, and we can utilize the fact that people may be more open to globalization and connecting online because of the shift of being online during COVID.
You're talking about innovation. So you're the first customer on the residential side who adopted the Brightspaces solution. What made you decide on accepting and embracing this solution?
So I think, it comes down to the business partners and myself. We're all very innovative people. It's something that coming from North America, you have to be innovative in order to be competitive.
Absolutely.
So in everything we do, whether it be the way that we build with BREEAM Excellent certification for Pajura Today residents, or the fact that, we are building one of the newest types of showroom concepts in the entire country, which will be available to walk into in July for Pajura Today residents. Mm-hmm. Anything that we do for all sides of the business, any department, is always something that's leading. And of course, like I said, innovation is a way to become a leader. So of course, we had to find out the best pro tech company in the country, and we reached out to Brightspaces, and that's how the journey began.
And we're so happy about that. And we were thinking about the results we started seeing together. Yeah. How are they going?
So, we do have the lead goals every month. We have not met those goals at this time, but that has not stopped us to really continue pushing InteRoverse platform. We've branded InteRoverse through all marketing channels, whether it be our billboards, our online campaigns with Facebook, or just word of mouth at these events that we go to. That doesn't once at all, change the path of us believing in Brightspaces and us really continue to want to educate the people about how they can, buy a new home in a different way other than just having, printed 3D or 2D plans. Utilizing the 3D platform that we have with Brightspaces is once again a great way for us to get ourselves in the market all over the country, but also outside the country.
And from the 3D perspective, right, from the 3D digital twins perspective, how do you think the evolution will look like in the sales and the marketing departments in real estate?
Well, I think, whether it be the content that, different developers are creating, whether it be the type of videos we're creating, or even with tokenization, that's something that outside of, not all developers are using tokenization because it's such a fairly new type of way of buying anything. It really leads me to believe that from content to the way that we buy things online, that the evolution of marketing is going to such great lengths that no one really knows the future. But what we really care about is investing in ways that we can be a leader. And so, like I said, Brightspace is a great way, but also we have another company that we're a founder of called Meta Wealth. And Meta Wealth is a way to democratize the way that we invest. So with only 100 euros or 100 USD, any average Romanian can go on our app and purchase a tokenization of the project. So it doesn't mean you own an apartment, but rather just a fraction of an apartment.
Got it.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty interesting. From the innovation perspective as well, how do you think, like, what's the role that the, let's say, conversational and generative AI will play on the real estate market moving forward?
So I think, AI is something that it's already very prevalent in our society, whether we know it or not. Banks in Toronto, for example, they are using AI, and it's from the way that based on how we spend our money, they can provide us different resources. So the way that I hope to see that also translating in Romania is that it can even help us with, different properties we list based on the fact that other properties sold better or worse. Another example could be property management. So we can really utilize some sort of AI platform with property management to make sure that utilities are being paid on time better, so that our buyers can have a better idea of what to expect for, let's say, the upcoming year. In terms of utility bills or any type of bills that they have to pay on a monthly occurrence.
So it's actually just about making our lives easier, right? And the whole experience, embracing the whole experience of new, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Ashton, how is marketing for residential real estate going to evolve in the future, and how much of it do you think it's going to be tech-enhanced?
Yes, so I think, being online is something that everyone's really converted to. I think there's definitely a portion in Romania of people that don't even have internet, but the people that are currently using internet, I think they're going to continue using it, and they'll be, accessing more platforms such as InteRo, and also other ways that they can communicate online to different countries outside the country. So that's going to continue, and I think technology is a really great stepping stone to get there. For example, without InteRo, we wouldn't have people that are in Dubai, for example, to be able to access a platform and see the 3D views of the apartments. So, Brightspace is just a great example of the direction we're going in for technology.
Yeah, that's actually pretty innovative. Like just having the chance to see a specific space or a specific apartment, just accessing a link on any device. Indeed, that's pretty innovative. So we are happy to be able to have this partnership and contribute to your success. And now, speaking of marketing, since you are the head of marketing for InteRo Property Development, can you tell me more about the challenges that you're facing every day? How many hats do you actually have to wear in your job, and how's the role from the management and leadership perspective?
For sure. Well, I think that when I moved here, I really had to make that decision of stepping up or stepping out. Because as you know, with startup companies, it can be quite challenging when you don't have, for example, an HR department. You don't have maybe the resources you have that you need in the beginning to accelerate and grow so quick that you want, in a speed that you want to grow. So for me, I really had to, own the fact that I was and I am the head of marketing. And so everything I do, from the way I speak, the way I do my work, to the way I communicate with the team, every little detail of my job is very crucial. And I do find that the success of my team really is important for me, because the more they succeed, the more that I succeed.
Absolutely.
And the more the company can grow as a unit. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree from the management and leadership perspective. Like having your team or investing in your team is actually what's going to also drive your success and your company's success. So yeah, I fully agree to that. So you said at the beginning that you're a Canadian family, right? So you moved to Bucharest in 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
So I moved back 2020, but I originally lived here when I was quite young. I moved here 2006, 2007.
Okay.
So I just came back here for the second time.
And how do you see the difference, like the cultural differences, and how do you apply your leadership model based on those cultural differences?
Well, I think for me, the first year moving back, my main goal was to understand the culture. For me, really listening to people, understanding where they're coming from and their perspective is the best way to work with them. Because if we don't understand, how people grew up and the way they think, maybe their attitude, maybe their limited beliefs, then you can't quite do business in the most optimal way. So number one, the first step was to understand the culture a bit better now that I'm out. And number two, be more compassionate with maybe the struggles people are having, because it may not reflect their capabilities in work, but rather just, maybe baggage, emotional baggage they've never dealt with in their life. And that's something where the psychological differences and the emotional intelligence are probably two of the biggest differences I notice when it comes to the workplace environment.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree from the customer success perspective. I can also relate to what you're saying, because you have to make sure that you are a good and empathetic leader, right? And also focus on the active listening side, because you need to understand what's happening behind the scenes of every single person you're actually interacting with. So yeah, I fully agree to that. Thank you for sharing with me your experience.
Yes.